And I'm live. That is pretty cool. Today is 30th of March 2026, Monday. And before beginning, a quote from Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. Let's see. Okay, this one, only one line long. This says, if thou canst see sharp, look and judge wisely, says philosopher. If thou canst see sharp, look and judge wisely, says the philosopher. If you cannot see sharp, then in that case, look and judge wisely. Okay, I do not understand what he means by seeing sharp. I guess making good decisions. If you cannot make good decisions like in a sharp manner, then look carefully and judge carefully. And yep, let's finish up the TUI. Shit, that is literally the title. Let's finish up the TUI. And now everything is ready. Almost everything is ready. We just have to have the board on the board. And for the board, we could maybe potentially use some ASCII art, but that is not going to be very good. Instead, what I'm going to use is some icons. That is, if we go in the backend, there are icons like, I think it is here in the common. Print board. Yep, there is this print board function which uses this piece to emoji thing. Yep, here are all the emojis. We can use these, and since we are going to print the board on a terminal, I think this is the best we can do. And if the user see, okay, we first of all, what do we see displayed on a terminal? A terminal screen is just a square, right? A rectangle, and this rectangle is made up of wheat, yep, corner, and this bigger rectangle is made up of a number of small rectangles, and these are, you could say, cursor positions. And just this is the whole terminal. In the whole terminal we have these small, and you can think of these things as pixels, and these things can have two things. One is going to be the background color, and the second is the text which appears on top of this, a single character. That character could be a ASCII character or whole UTF-8, an emoji also could be there. So this whole terminal that we are seeing right now is also a list of these cursor like pixels, where each one has like this. Here all of these cursor positions here have the blue background, and some of them have these grayish characters in front. And yeah, same thing. And this thing, this up arrow symbol here, this is also, you could say, a character, a special character in UTF-8. So what we are going to use is, we are just going to print the board as a list of these. Our board, like this is 6, that is 8. Our board is just going to be this. This 8 by 8 grid. And yeah, that is good enough. And since if you have a 4K monitor or something where the size of individual cursor position is very small, in that case you can just zoom in into the terminal and increase their size and have your board appear coolly like this, and yeah, that would be cool. That would be the ideal. Okay, and we also have all the emojis. Let's have them. We can have a map, enums. Okay, cool. Everything is up to date. And enums, this is not exactly an enum. Let's say share map.go. That is not the right thing to print. Package is main, and a map. We need to create a map. It is in the commons folder, print board. I guess these characters are Go does use UTF-8, but depending on the terminal on which the user is playing, they might see these characters or they might not see these characters. So I have a question. These characters, will they appear in all the modern terminals, or do they need to have, or does the user need to have installed some special font like nerd font or something? That is the question. To be or not to be, this thing are part of the Unicode's miscellaneous symbol blocks. This to this, which has been in the Unicode standard since version 1.1 1993. Okay, so shit, I think we since 1993 people have updated their terminals, so they are very well supported. Here's a bit breakdown. Cool, cool, cool. They might fail in terminals forced into non-Unicode. Your non-Unicode is crazy. Very minimal embedded terminals. They might not play chess. Old CMD windows. Cool. This is cool. So they will be visible by people. Copy, paste, and here we want to create a map. Pieces to symbols, and we have in our enums all these pieces. Shit, where is map? Map. How do we create a map? In Go we say var pieces to symbols is a map. Yep, like that. We can say this shared expected declaration found pieces to symbols. Pieces to symbols equals this thing. Where piece is this. Yep, piece is the key, and string. Yep, string is the thing. Cool. And here, how do we say? Okay, this legit work. White pawn. Nope. That is white rook. Not this one. Black pawn, white knight, and yep, black bishop, black queen, White king. Cool. But what is this error? Expected declaration found. Wait, why can we not use the walrus operator? Expected declaration found pieces to how to define a map in Go, like with yes, with the walrus operator, with the make function. That is the recommended thing. Okay, like this. Or yes, this is like legit what we want to use. But why do we get error here? Pieces to symbols. Expected declaration found pieces to symbols inside package main. Declaration without initialization. Yep. We are not able to do this thing. This with this operator. Okay, this might be a quirk of Go. Uh, this is giving error that expected declaration found pieces to symbols. What does that mean? That shows that you are writing statement level code directly in the package scope. Okay, shit, we cannot use the walrus operator outside the package scope, inside in the global scope. In Go, only declarations are allowed at the only declarations are allowed in at the package scope. You cannot have bare assignments outside of functions. Use var with a declaration like this. This is the simplest fix. Move it inside a function. No. If you want to use short declaration, use a named constructor function. Statement level code, variable assignment directly in the package scope. In Go, only declarations are allowed at the package level. You cannot have bare assignment outside of function. So why does it, but then why does this declaration work with var and and not with short declaration syntax? Why would that be? Great question. Okay, this is the short variable declaration operator, and it is explicitly defined in Go spec as only valid inside a function. Okay, so we can only use this thing inside a function, and this part is clearly not inside a function. That is why we were getting error. But why have the creators made this decision? It is essentially syntactic sugar that does two things at once: declare and assign. The Go designers intentionally restrict it to function scope. Why do they restrict this? Var, on the other hand, is declaration keyword, and declarations are valid at any scope, package level, function level, anywhere. Think of it like this: declaration, short declaration statement, function level only, level only. Uh, why are the creators limited the use of so if you want to fix the error, we can just here do this. It is likely a combination of parsing simplicity and clarity. Okay, for their own ease, parsing simplicity. For parsing clarity of intent, var at package level makes it visually obvious that this is a long lived. Okay, and avoiding ambiguity at function level, this is useful because it can shadow. Okay, shit, there is shadowing in Go, which is crazy. Shadowing means you can use the same variable name for something else later on in the program. Okay, so it is just a design choice. Cool. We can use these things, and I think we can define a symbol function right here instead of map. Guess we should rename this to board.go. Shit. Okay, because there is another thing. Uh, save this. Save this. Shit. Where's map? Map is gone. Yep, cool. We will have a function print board which takes in the board of type board and returns nothing, and for I, no, not I, for row range board expected this, found this, for row range this, for cell range row, just print, and nn will be mapped onto empty space. Cool. Cool. And from this map we get that specific symbol for this place. So lip gloss print line, nope. Symbol is cool. Get the symbol from pieces to symbols, and given the key, give the cell. Shit, this is what is this? Okay, shit, this is the integer. We do not want the integer. We, I guess now, okay, shit, this is still an integer. Make this like this and row. Cool. Row and empty and cell, given the cell. Cool. And fmt, import fmt here, print, not print line, just print printf, printf, printf string, which is symbol, and at the end of each row, print line. I guess cool. That should be cool enough. Print board function. Great. Okay. Okay. We have a print board function which we can use now in the view to describe active game page. Okay. The active game page function. We first of all write playing with, and then playing as, and then your turn or opponent's turn. But before this, let's also have the board. Yes, print board s plus equals print board literally prints the board. Okay, we do not want it to print the board, but return the board as a string, which would be cool. So variable board or board string is a empty string at the start, and do not print this thing actually, and s printf board string plus equals Yep, and board string plus equals new line character, and then return board string. We do not the thing that I like about Go is we can say here board string, which is of type string, and then do not reinitialize it, but yep, just return the thing at the in the model. Here we just say s plus equals print board and gives it the current board. Okay, this should work probably. Button back, let's see. Go run this current file. We can choose which game we want to play. Zoom, 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 zoom. That is big zoom. Source TUI, go run rapid. Okay, we have a game. Legit, we have a game. Okay, it is this player's turn to play a game. Okay, e2 to e4. Nothing happens. This thing is not sending the move to the backend. That is the thing that we have to fix now. The move is not going to the back end. And also we have to make this board a little bit more beautiful, for which we just have to update the print board function. Nothing too special. Okay. Here in the update active game page, yep, when the game is active and the user presses enter, run this function. This function takes in the move and makes the API call socket. If error equals nil, only then make this call. Okay, but if the error is not equal to nil, what happens then? Let's update the move in this case, I guess. And also let's write a log statement in the backend so that we see whenever there is an incoming socket call, we can see that there was an incoming socket call. And then an anonymous game here on message console.log got a move. Cool. Button back. Start a rapid game. E2 to e4. Cool. What do we see? Got a move. Okay, so the request was sent on the backend, but how far along? So we do get to this point. Okay, and then validate move format. Are we getting the move? Console.log move. One, run back. Start a rapid game. E2, E4. What do we see? We do not see the move. Okay, so we are not getting to this point, but we were getting to this point. Okay, is user playing? I guess there might be some error here. Console.log got here. One, run back, start the backend. Shit. Go run this. E2, E4. What do we see? Got here. Okay, so we are able to get here, but the move format seems to be wrong. Console.log message, run back. e2 e4. What? We are getting an empty move. Okay, we are getting an empty move, which means there is something wrong with this thing. Move is struct. There's something wrong with this thing. Move is string. Something is wrong with move is string. Something is wrong with move is string. Okay, if instead of move is string we just pass in legit the move itself. Okay, let's see. Cool. Go run this. Quit. Go run backend. Again, start a rapid game. E2 to e4. What do we see now? We do get the move, but the format is wrong. The format is wrong. Okay, so the problem now is that we are unable to convert this structure, which has move as a key and a move as a value, into a JSON string which can be parsed by the backend into a legit move. So yep, that's what we have to fix. Move is struct. So we are getting the structure. How do we convert a structure into a JSON string? Yeah, convert struct in Go to a JSON string. That is the question. Okay, we have this Marshall. Yes, that is what we are using, Marshall. But this does not work. Marshall is not working. JSON is, this has bytes. JSON is string is convert that thing into a string. Socket move request. Is this okay? Socket move request. Move struct bytes JSON Marshall. And if error equals nil, which means there is no error. If error is not equal to nil, then return, otherwise send this move string byte write message to this. First thing is the message type text. Maybe the problem is because of the text, because of the message type. This is text message. Shit, maybe we have to say binary message because this is a string of bytes. That might actually be it. E2 e4. Okay, shit, that was not it. That was not it. Text message is the thing. And move string, we see this as an empty string. Why do we see this as an empty string? JSON.marshall, that is what we are calling on this struct. So we should be getting the right thing, but we don't. Or for controlling the output with struct. Okay, there is this thing called struct tags in Go, which I do not understand, but okay, I guess that is what you have to use here. Struct tags, stuff like this at the end. And move. Okay, and move. I guess that was the problem. Maybe. Quit. Go. Run again. Go. Run this thing again. Start a rapid game. E2 to E4. We don't see anything here. We do see the move at the back end. Cool. We are getting the move on the back end. Why did we not see this move being played? Did the backend tell the front end after getting this move that a move was made? What is the problem with the backend? Okay, so we are getting the message console.log move. Let's say, are we able to parse that move that we are getting on the backend? Button run back. Cool. Start a rapid game. E2 to E4. We are not able to parse that move. We didn't print this thing. Error true. Error true. There should be a handler for error. We will add that later on. Uh, we are not able to parse this move properly. We are not able to parse this move properly, which we should be able to parse. I don't know why we are not able to parse this. Console.log error parsing move. Console log move parsed with the move here. E2 to E4. That is the move. Error parsing move. Okay, there is error parsing move. Why is there error parsing move? Zord expects the move to be like this, which it is. So what is the error? Exactly, what is the error? Console.log res dot error. Res being used before its declaration. Res is right here. Okay, shit. This res, I guess if we scope, okay, there is no scoping of this. Temporarily, let's change the name of this to resp. Cool. Let's see what is the exact error. E2, E4. That we are getting this boolean, expected boolean new definition. Message invalid input, expected boolean received undefined. Where did you expect boolean? Is message okay? Shit, is message has to be there. Makes so much sense. Is message has to be there. Helper. Shit, is message has to be there. Here, we also need to have is message, which is going to be a bool. Is message. Cool. Is message and okay, and this is going to be false. False. That might actually be it. That might actually be it. Stop this. Stop this. Go. Run. Start. Go. Run. E2 to E4. Okay, what do we see? We do see that the move was made on the back end, so we have to fix up the handler on the front end. That is the question. Okay. Are there any other console.logs which we added just for testing? No. Cool. Okay, so we are successfully able to send a move from the Go TUI to the backend. Now there is some problem with how we are handling the message coming back. I think it is a good place to make a commit here. E2 to E4. The backend will say improper move. It does not say anything because the move was improper. E2 to E4. Yeah. E7 to E5. Shit. Okay, we are able to play a move here. Okay, from by the other player. We do not see any like move thing here because there is a difference between what we see and what is there. Okay, cool. Cool. So there is a problem with how we are handling these messages. Okay, handle active game response, which we are able to handle perfectly, which is pretty cool. And then if there is no error, then message dot move is not equal to null. If there is a move, then get the move and play the move like this. Yep. And if there is yep, update the white time left, black time left, and handle game over. Handle game over, which is fine. But yes, shit, there are other things also that we have to handle. One is adding to a list of moves this current move. If we played a move, if we played a move, then go to m, then dot game struct dot board. We updated white time left, black time left, color. We do not have to update the color is fine. Move number increases, and also op no, everything else is fine. There is a list of moves dot move. Nope, moves. Game struct dot moves append. Game struct dot moves equals append to go to m dot game struct dot moves append to this thing move. What is move? Move is shit. Nope. Move is a list of uh, move is an array. That is not what we want to append. We want to append message dot move. Cool. I guess now we are better off. Let's see. Go run this. E2, E4. Shit, okay. We do not see the updated board. That is the problem now. We do not see the updated board. That is what we have to fix now. It is on the backend. We do see that the board has been updated. Here, this E pawn is moved, and now look, like all the black pawns, the black player has not made it's his her first move. We can make it here playing as black, and here if I press e7 to e5, we do not see anything here, but on the back end we do see that the move is made. So we have to fix why are we not able to see the move on the front end, or like in the TUI, not the front. We can call it the front end, no problem. What we are doing is we are getting the target row and we are updating the cell, the piece at the target row. That piece becomes equal to the piece at the source row, at the source cell, source square. And the square, the source square becomes empty, which is exactly how you make a move. You put your piece from the source square to the target square and your source square becomes empty. Move number is updating for sure, no problem with that. This is also updating. Maybe something wrong is happening with this. Maybe something wrong is happening with this. When we update this board, which is an array, this board is an array and it is passed by copy. It is passed by copy, by value. This array is passed by value because it is a 8 by 8 2D matrix of pieces. And after making our change, we call this prop send update model. That is, we updated, wait, shit, no, update model, yes, shit, yes, we are updating the model, which should here in the model whenever we get this type of message, that is update model t message. Whenever we get this kind of message, we update our model, we update our model. And this model internally has an object called game object, which internally has a 2D array called the board, which we are updating. Then why are we not getting the correct value for this? We are legit updating this. Let's try to print this thing here. Fmt dot print board and give this thing the board. Maybe, I don't know. Let's see what we will see, but probably we will only see the board being printed on the screen for a split second and then nothing. Okay, game has started. E2 to e4. Okay, shit, we do see the board being printed and it stays on the screen here, the white squares, all of this. But shit, this, we are doing this, we are printing the board here after making the move, but on this board we do not see this e pawn being moved forward, which is wrong. We do not see this being moved forward. So let's, instead of printing this, print, go to m dot game struct dot board source row. Yes, let's print this. Should print the pawn. Enter, play a rapid game. E2 e4. We do not see the pawn, we see legit 12. We see 12 because that is the enum being used for a pawn, for a white pawn. Is it the enum being used for a white pawn? Here, shit, white pawn is literally like 1, not, if this thing is 1, this is 2, and black king is, suppose, or maybe this white pawn is 0, in which case this is 12. So we are not getting the right thing. Source. Okay, this is after we have made our move. If we were to print this same thing before making our move, let's see. Go, run, play, go, run, play, enter, enter, e2 to e4, 12, 12. Okay, so there is no difference before and after making our move. In both the cases, we see 12, 12, even though we are literally updating this thing to be n. And what is the target row and target column? Go run, go run this. Okay, e2, e4, 12, 12. Both of them are same. Okay, so there is some problem with the board. There is some problem with the board. Why is this giving us shade? Oh, shade. Maybe the problem is with the move itself. What is the move that we are getting here? Go to message dot move. Message dot move and go there. Okay, let's try to print the move itself. Go run play, go run play, rapid e2 to e4. Move is e2 to e4. Okay, so after this, what is s row, s column, target row, target column, go run play, go run this, rapid e2 e4, e2 to e4. E means a b c d e. Yes, that is 4 if 0 indexed. So yes, okay, shit. Yes, makes sense, makes sense. The row and the columns have to be switched. Makes so much sense. E is not the row number, E is the column number. So source column, source row, and here also source target column, target row. Okay, and now I suppose we are okay. Go run, start a rapid game, e2 e4. Okay, shit, we do see the move being played here, right here. The move was played and the other player plays like e7 to e5. We do see it. Cool, 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 cool. Okay, that is very cool. Stop printing this. Okay, cool. Yes. Okay, we do see the moves being played. Let's make a commit. Feature board displaying correctly. I guess we can even play a whole game now. Go run this. Go run, play a rapid game. And how do we make panels in tmux? I forgot. Control B this thing to make a panel on the right. Use this for a vertical split and this for a horizontal. Okay, percentage. uh, cool. What is this? 198. 198. Cool. And ach. Wait. Ah, shit. Okay, cool. Cd source TUI. Go run this. Okay, start a app. Okay, the key maps are different here. e2 to e4. Okay, we do see the move being played. e7. Let's do checkmate. e7 to e5. Shit. Okay, go run. Let's increase the size a bit more. Go run this. Rapid. Go run this. Rapid. Start a rapid game. Okay, e2 to e4. That is the move played. On the other side, we have to say e7 to e5. Okay, and here let's move. This is the black player. So the black player will move. This knight is the e. No, e, not e. This is b8 to c7. Shit, that is not the right move. B8 is right. C6. B8 to C6 is right. B8 to C6 is right. G8. Shit, yes. Okay, G8. Wait, no. Then B8 to C6 is right for the black. No, I'm just messing this up completely. B8 to C6. Yes, that is a valid move for the black player to make. And G8 to F6 is also a move. G8 to F6. Okay, why are these moves not being registered? E2 to E4. Okay. And then E7 to E5. Okay. And then G8, B8 to C6. Okay, we don't see this. B8 to C6. is a valid move. B8 to C6. It would be a valid move if it was the black player's turn, but it is the white player's move. Shit. Yes, so the correct move would be D1. My chess mind is not very good. See? Yep. Okay, shit. Queen is not at the right place. We have to fix the print board function a little bit. We have to fix the print board function a little bit. We have to tell the print board function what to print. Yes, and there it would be cool if the print board function there looked a little bit like this, which is a bit more cleaner. Okay, we have made this. No, we have made E things move, and now C1. C1 to H5. C1 1 to H5. D1 to H5. D1 to H5. Cool. D1 to H5. Shit. Okay, and what does the black player does? Black player does B8 to C6. Okay. And then the white player F1 to C5. I think F1 is this F? We have F1 to C4. Shit, okay, F1 to C4. F1 to C4. Okay. And then this player just like moves back the knight, which would mean C6 to DC6 to B8. And then this player moves the queen to give a checkmate. That would be H5 to F7. H5 to F7. Checkmate. Shit. We didn't see the end screen, which is a bug we have to fix. Kill this panel. Yes. Cool. Checkmate. Game was over by checkmate. Okay, so there are two things which we have to fix now. One is the board looks horrible, and game end game screen. The board looks horrible, and we have to fix the end game screen. And is there anything else? Maybe a little bit other formatting apart from the board. It would be cool to fix. Yep. So how do we want our board to look like? A little bit more like this, how it looks at the back end, and no one even looks at the logs by the back end. This looks way better than the TUI version here. Okay, so yep. I board string plus equals I. Yes, print. Digit and then space, digit and then space, digit and then space. Is it cool? It is cool. And and this function also has to know the color of type. Color is a type. Nope. Enum color. Yep, it would be cool to say color, and here also say color. And now here we can say color. Yeah, color works. Cool. So if color is white, for then we print in some format, and if the color is black, then we print in some other format. So if color equals white, then something else, otherwise something else. Let's write what to do in case of white. And there is no need to like generalize this function, because there are just two possibilities, and it is pretty all right to just copy paste. Okay, if we want the white player, um, if you want to print the board from the perspective of the white player, then in our matrix, 0 0 is here, 0 0 is here, but from the white player's perspective, 0 0 is on the bottom left here. A1, this thing, we want to go from this to this. 0 0 will come here, and this will increase in this way, and this will obviously increase in this way. Cool. So yep, rows and since we are going to print from the top bottom, in that case our row is going to start from the last, that is 7, and our column is going to start from 0. So we have to traverse in the rows in the backward format. So how to use for loop in reverse in Go. Traditional for loop recommended. Shit. Okay, using index is cool. I equals at the start length of the board, and while do this while I is greater than equal to 0 and I minus 1. Cool. In case of white, that is in case of white, we want to start the row number. In case of white, rows goes from 7 to 0 and column goes from 0 to 7. Column goes from 0 to 7. So for j equals 0, while j smaller than length of board I. Cool, good enough. J plus plus. And here do we have to print I? No, we have to print I plus 1. Cool. I plus 1, and here there is nothing like cell board I j. And at the end a new line, a space here also. Yep, cool. And then at the end, we can just manually say board string plus equals, like legit manually, space A to H. Yes, cool. And the same thing here. And for black, this is for the white, for white. But if we want to print the board from the perspective of a black player, black, in black, this is 8 8, this is like 7 7, the last board, and 0 0 is here, and this thing decreases this way, this decreases this way, and here we would have a 0 7. So in case of black, our row has to start from 0 and goes to 7, and our column has to go in reverse from 7 to 0. Okay, and so our row, which is this, has to start from 0 while smaller than length of the board I plus plus, and this has to start in the opposite direction. Shit, and length -1 here, my bad. Here length of board I, and while this thing is greater than equal to 0, j minus minus, and everything else the same, everything else has to be can be the same, just this has to be changed to the opposite. Okay, and now probably our print board function is better. Go run this. Shit, cannot use black constant black of type string color as string value in assignment. Model.go line 145. This is of, okay, we can say var color is of type color, cool, and if color equals m game is struct, not enough arguments, okay, shit, m dot game struct given the color. Shit, why are we converting this into a color? Because of the model definition, makes so much sense. M is of type model, and here we have to game struct color has to be of type color. Okay, now I guess we are okay. Go run this. Okay, shit, no, we are not okay. In the socket, message dot color, message game start socket response, here color is of type color. Are you okay now? Okay, we are okay, I guess. Go run this. Cool. Go run. Okay, shit. Out of range indexing. Which part is going out of range? TUI main.go line number 13, which is crazy. Main.go line number 13. There is a line 13. Probably how we are printing the board. For loop can be modernized. Yes, it can be. Range length of board. Because of this. This has to be -1. Cool. And here delete till length of board range. Okay, quit. Go run. Okay. Hmm. There is no backend. Okay, makes sense. Okay, this looks like much better. Okay, why is there opponent's turn? Okay, that is because of the view in case of opponent's turn. Yes, there should not be stuff like this. Okay, cool. Let's start again. What is, first of all, 71 into 48? 3550, 3550 minus 142, 3450 minus 42, 3000, 3408 probably is right. Go run this, start a rapid game, go run this. Okay, cool. Hello, I've been doing CP these days and about to reach pupil. Let's go. But I also think to start either web dev or ML. Which one should I start first? I'll be doing side by side with CP. I am second semester. Shit, that is pretty cool. You are doing CP in your second semester. Uh, so I guess, okay, web development and ML. If you have not done any of it, if you are a beginner in these things, then this is going to be pretty difficult. CP in itself is pretty difficult, and web development, if you do not know the whole architecture of a client and a server, how do they communicate, that web dev is vast. There is Next, you could use, you could use base React. There are a lot of things you could use, Vue.js maybe, Svelte or anything. And for ML you have to learn a lot of maths, optimization, regression stuff. I have not done ML much, but yes, there is a lot. But I guess, I don't know. It is probably up to you. Which one you find more interesting should be the one that you can do, because you are just in your second semester. You can also waste your time or spend your time more casually, right? You do not have to target your time onto something. You are more free since you are just in your second semester. So, yep, whichever thing interests you more should be the thing that can go up with CP. Because why? Because these can be very draining, cognitively speaking. So if you do not have motivation to go after them, you will just stop. Maybe you would even stop doing CP. So do the thing that you find more interesting. And look at this crazy stuff. E2 to E4, the move was made, and this player does. Shit. This is the black player playing as the black, and shit, you even see the color thing correctly. Pieces from the perspective of the black player, but There is some little extra space here in the black person's perspective, and this h is going a little bit more to the right than it should be going, which means there are two spaces here and there are two spaces here. So what is the problem? Why is there an extra space in black? Okay, let's just like assume something is wrong. Go run from scratch. Go run. This takes a bit to run. Why? Because this compiles the whole program and then runs it. But if I were to do go build this ls, there is a binary. Yes, there is a binary TUI. Okay, that was also not instant, but I guess it was a bit better. Yeah, much better than go run this. Okay, e2 to e4, e2 to e4. Cool. The other player goes e7 to e5. Now it is this player's turn. Okay, seeing you do all this stuff makes me scared. That is very natural. That is very natural. I also get scared all the time that I will also have to do all this someday. Do not think of this in terms of something that you will have to do. If you introduce even artificially some curiosity into what you're doing, then it would be very easier, much more easier if you just artificially create some curiosity. Like when you are doing a CP problem, you can think of yourself as like as tourist who is OG person in CP. Tourist CP, like this guy Gennady Korotkovich. He is he looks like this in real life. This is his AI generated photo. This is his real face. You can think of yourself like him, and you can approach a problem as if you were your life with some curiosity. I don't know how to explain it, but you can approach a problem in term with some curiosity, and things would seem easier. And a quote which goes along with this is "Don't try" by Charles Bukowski. He said, "Don't try, do not try," or this is my interpretation of this thing. Don't try. Don't try, Charles Bukowski meant do not try to do CP, actually do CP. Do not try to achieve something, actually do achieve something. Okay, do not call me sir, and yeah, yeah, thank you. So let's do some checkmate. And also, you do not have to do all of this at once. I didn't know how to use tmux, so I spent some days solely on tmux, how to work with tmux and some all the things that you see someone else doing. Like if you see someone else doing a lot of things, that other person didn't do all of those things in a single day. That other person spent some time on each of those things at separate times, and now after getting better at each of those things individually, they can use those things at the same time. Cool, right? Oh shit, now this one is a bit messed up. Out of I don't know out of what, but this one on the right, I guess it is because of the orientation. Probably, probably. Okay, let's do another move here. The next move would be moving the queen from d1 to this thing, d1 to g. Shit, d1 to h5, d1 to h5. Let's go. and here moving the knight d b8 to c6. Okay, that is cool. And here moving the bishop from f1 f1 to c4. Let's go. And black does not know what is going to happen. Black is going to be checkmated. C6 to b8. Let's go. And now the killing move h5 to f7. Let's go. Okay, we have fixed out of these two things that we listed. Board looks horrible. It does not look horrible, or like as horrible as it used to look. There's still a bit of aligning problem, but okay. Now the end game screen. We do not see the end game screen. That is a problem. Probably should be more space here. Yeah, cool. Status get add, not the TUI. Get status get add this. Okay, what did I change in anonymous game start? Probably I'm printing the move, which is not the right move to do. Get restore staged. Shit. Get restore staged. Get status and diff in backend APIs anonymous game start. Yep, console.log move, which we do not want there. Remove that. It is gone. Get add. Commit feature board looks eloquent. What is the spelling? ELOQUENT. Board looks eloquent. Okay. Resume and yep, cool. Now we have to fix the game ending page. Lazy update. Synchronize. Cool. Okay, game ending page. Game ending page. How are we first of all switching to game ending page here? Handle game over. If game.over is not equal to nil and game over is true, set status. Status becomes equal to end game. Yes. Status is end game status. Right. Status is updated, and if winner is not equal to nil, then set winner equal to this, and y over is should also be there. Okay, y over should also be there. WebSocket. Okay, why is there this this bar? Look at this. It's inefficient. Inefficient. Why is this inefficient? We'll see. But before that, view active game page, end game page. If yeah, If winner, then print you won, otherwise print you lost. That is the message. And top at the top, say game over. Maybe in the update function, game end page. Yes, you press R or enter and go there. A random bug. If this dot socket is not equal to nil, then close the socket and then start a new socket, so that you do not get a new socket every time you press enter here. End game screen. Why don't we see the end game screen, which we clearly are changing to status console.log md dot printf print game over. Let's see. Okay. Shit. Why does the WebSocket remain? Why do the WebSocket remain? That is crazy and should not happen. In Go, I have a routine which creates a web socket, but sometimes even after closing the main thread, the socket remains. What is that about? Or maybe the problem is classic Go routine leak problem. Shit, when you close the main thread or the HTTP handler returns, the WebSocket Go routine can keep running in the background if it is not explicitly told to stop. Okay, so the problem is on the Go TUI level. Like if you have something like this, handle Go routine is now floating. This handler returns, but the Go routine it spawns keeps running. The fix use context for cancellation. CTX. Okay, what is context for cancellation? Why does it leak? Why does the go routine leak if I'm not telling it to run independent of the main thread? Why floating? Why is this floating? Floating just means it is independent of the main thread. The fix use context for cancellation. We will fix the it's and the game E22, or we could do scholar's mate, or there is also the fool's mate, which is much better. And yep, which is much better. We just have to say F2 to F3. Cool. F2 to F3. And here we move our E pawn from E7 to E5. Pretty cool. And here then G2 to G4. And then queen from D8 to H4. Cool. The game ended, but we didn't see any end game screen. The problem is still there. But there is another problem now apart from these two. And that is web socket leaking. WebSocket leaking. How do we fix WebSocket leaking using context? What does that mean? Using context. Context dot with cancel r dot context WebSocket handler, which is the function that we call handle WebSocket. WS handler. No, this internally calls the go routine and gives the context to this go routine. And at the end of this function, run the cancel function so that this handler function runs this and context dot done. R dot context. And what is R? R is context dot with cancel. And this context is just a thing that we have in Go with this channel syntax. Also make sure you handle this close. When do we have to close the WebSocket? We have to close the WebSocket when our main function exits. When our main function exits, then, or when we are at any other page except this one. When we are at any other page except this one. Except this one. Yep. We do not want threads to leak because they will pile up on the backend, which is very bad. Maybe we can look at the IP address and allow that one IP address to only have one WebSocket connection on the backend side. That would be cool. Yes, to prevent DDoS attack, kind of. To at least prevent DOS attack, but not DDoS. At least a single user won't be able to make multiple connections. Okay. Game active page. We use context here. Context dot context. Do we have context is a module? Okay. context is a module. Context is a module. When do we want to run this? We want to, when do we want to run this? When we press Q, when we press Q here, t dot quit. This is the point that we want to tell the handler to stop the go routine, which is handling the WebSocket, to stop, which we call here when we press enter. This thing, this is the function which will also take in here ctx, which is of type context dot context and m ctx. And what do we have to look for in this handler function? See, case, in case done, then yeah, return from this function. Okay, select, what is this? Select, for select this or default. Is this like switch? Parent context for ctx done. This method returns a channel that is closed when work done on behalf of this context should be cancelled. Done may return nil if this context can never be cancelled. Successive calls to done return the same value. The close of the done channel may happen asynchronously after the cancel. With cancel, with cancel. No, this is done is provided for use in select statements. String generates value with do something and sends them to out until do something returns an error or ctx done is closed. Do something, give that something a context. And okay, I do not understand how this is happening. From the main place, at the end, call cancel. Okay, call cancel. And what is the select part? Is this, wait, go by example.com. There must be a select, se, there is a select statement. What is select? Goes select lets you wait on multiple channel operations. Combining go routines and channels with select is a powerful channels. Combining go routines and channels with select. Go routines and channels with select is a powerful feature of Go. Okay, import all of this. Get two channels, channels of strings. Run this function, and this function is being run in place time sleep this go routine for 1 second, and then send into channel 1 and sleep this one for 2 seconds and send this. Okay, and then select case message 1, get message 1. Okay, shit, select takes in these things, and whichever message or whichever channel has something to return, that statement will run. So this one will run first and then this one will run this one. Cool. Okay, and there is also a default thing, that is if none of the keys or none of the channels have a context or data to give, then default will run and this will just like keep on running because we have a for loop outside. We receive the values 1 and 2 as expected. Note that the total execution time is only around 2 seconds since both the this and this sleep concurrently. Okay, okay, okay. With select what, okay, first of all, select chooses among the given cases the one which the one channel which has some data in it. But what if multiple channels have data in it? Then I think this will just go as a normal switch statement goes. Whichever from top down to first, top to down channel has some data, that will be the one to run. Cool, cool, cool. Okay. We can make this happen. Cool, okay. For select case ctx done default is all of this. Default we have all this. Unreachable code, yes, because we should break. We should break here, and in the yes, in the model we can how do we get context dot context with cancel r dot context. Context dot background, what is background? Returns a non-empty, okay, okay, okay. It is never cancelled. We manually call cancel on this one. Capital C would look a bit better here, and yes, when you call this, we given the ctx context. Cool. And whenever we press q, we call the cancel function. Okay, now whenever we press q, the WebSocket should end. That is one time when the WebSocket should end. And also, what if we press Control C, or we can just keep calling this? Shit, what if we start a new game? That is, if we press enter or R after one game ended, how do we reinitialize a context? Yes, that is a good question. Hello, how is it going? Modular. Okay, absolutely right. Select in Go picks a ready case. If ctx dot done has no data yet, it won't block on it. It will fall through to default immediately. So is this ready? Fall to default. Call read message blocks here. So the ctx dot done check is essentially whenever, okay, whenever channels and context were channels and context added to Go, and also like Go routines, they must be pretty old. Yup, 2009. Okay, context is like yes, 2019. Go 1.7. Channels have been there since the start. So when were Go routines must also have been there, added to Go. 1990. Go routines and channels added to Go. 2009. Cool. Cancel. Cancel. Also, we can say when the main function exits, cancel. Shit, that is cool. That is cool. Cancel here. Did you mean to break out of the outer? But yes, I did mean to break out of the outer loop. Uh, uh, how do I break out of the outer loop? Like this one, for loop. Are there go-to statements in Go? Yes, there are. Go to skip session. Okay. End, and this is the end. Cool. Okay, closing a socket is handled. We also want to call the cans restart. In case of restart, how do we restart a context? I guess we don't have to restart a context. It will just be empty. It will just be empty. It will just be empty. Wait, let's see. Go run this. Start a rapid game. Go run this. Start a rapid game. e2 um, f2 to f3. This player moves e2 to e5, e e7 to e5. This player then does moves g2 to g4, then the queen d8 to h4. Shit. Okay. Panic. Bro got panicked. Okay. Why? Game over. Shit, we do see game over being printed. Cool. Panic repeated. Read on failed. So we did not exit. Go to end. We must have gone to end. Okay, connection not close. Let's see. Go run this. Go run this. And start a rapid game. E2 to f2 to f3. And then this player does e7 to e5. Then back here g2 to g4. Here d8 to h5. Shit, d8 to h4. Okay, panic again. Panic. Shit, a lot of panic. Panic room. Model.go line number 92. Line number 92. This thing. And above this WebSocket line number 39. This thing. Okay, yes, we are calling this when we should not be calling this function. Pointer custom channels. Differ.close. Okay, we are at then we don't have to manually close. Here we do have differ.close, differ.close, and also differ function, write a function. Yes, we'll be calling in place, and this function go to m dot socket, make it equal to nil. Can we do this? Yes, we can do this. So that when we come here the second time the socket is not nil, we close it, we make it equal to nil. Okay, and we are making it equal to nil after closing the connection. and we are not even printing time or anything like that. Run dot f2 to f3, e5 to e7, g e5, e7 to e5. Okay, my bad. Cool. And then g2 to g4, d8 to h4. Error. What exactly happens? What happens is the handle game over. Yep, this function runs. We print game over. We change the game, the status of the game. Right. We change, and we should also like break out of this shit. Yes. Go to end right here. Close the socket and everything. Shit, that was a stupid mistake. Run this. Go run this. Enter. Enter. E2 F2 to F3 here, E7 to E5 here, G2 to G4, and then D8 to H4. Very cool. We should not be seeing this. Why do we see this? Select. We see the same thing here, and we also see 3 for some reason. We are printing this new thing on top of the earlier screen. How do we clean the screen, clear the screen, and then print the new thing that you want to print? Wait, hello, dom dmk. How to clear screen and bubble tea? How do you do that? How long has this been? Only 1 hour. Shit, it is not even 2 hours, and we are about to finish this. Clear screen. Shit, makes so much sense. We can call clear screen t dot clear screen. The WebSocket problem is still there. The WebSocket problem is still there. It is still running out of t dot clear screen. Go run here, enter F2 to F3. This player moves F E7 to E5, Clear G2 to G4, D8 to H4. Cool. At least, yeah, clear screen stuff is working, but the socket remains. Okay, why are you frustrated with like three different faces? Mm, socket does not close, which is messed up. When we press Q, we do call this cancel function. When we press Q, whenever we do call this cancel function, and if inside this our on socket handler is working, we will go to the end. Okay, crazy, yes, crazy, crazy. Makes sense. Okay, makes so much sense. What if we are listening at this? Yes, what if we are listening for this, and that is the time that our main program ends? Then we will not know if the context got done. Shit, makes sense. Was there is no framework that allows you to drag and drop stuff? I'm so frustrated because I stuck in new haircut. And what are you trying to? Okay, for front end drag and drop. I have not done drag and drop in front end. Let's see. You can, yes, there might be a framework. I don't know. There is DND kit, a light work performance thing. Shit. This is cool. Look at this node. You have a node within infinite space. This is what you want. Shit. This is cool. This is like exactly. In some time, I will be building N8N N8N from scratch. Like backend would be in Go and front end would be in JavaScript. And this is what we want. Shit. This is like so good. This is very good. Look at the line. That line is very good. Shit, that is very good. That is very good. That is what we want. Drag and drop. And for this, we can use this library, React Flow, for connecting stuff. Cool. Okay, there is no dark mode. Shit, that was horrible. Default node, add new nodes. Shit, this is very cool. This is very cool. Output node, connect. Input node, can we connect multiple? We can connect multiple nodes. Let's go. This is very cool. You can zoom in, zoom out. There is a sidebar. All of, okay, shit, this is also configurable. That is cool. That is very cool. You can do this. I don't know, like things are not famous. I never heard anyone talking about this. Yes, me too. React Flow, you can use this. Drag and drop. Let's go. And also, I guess custom, it depends on how complex is your drag and drop system. For my own just backend, I made a drag and drop system on my own because it was not very complex. You just had to pick up a piece and work with it. Here, close, start a game. Shit, because the front end server is not working. Yep. Makes sense. Blue and white. Cool. Start a game. Start. Start. This thing. Drag and drop. This is kind of like a drag and drop. But yes, if your use case is not too complex, I guess you can build your own thing there. It is 1300 something right now, which I want to increase. I want to reach a specialist by the end of this month. What is yours right now? Cooking. Yeah, cool. Mhm. Okay, yep. The problem here is this. When this thing on connection dot read message is kind of an asynchronous call, so our it is a blocking call. So our main thread blocks on this. How do we tell? How do we make this a non-blocking call? Essentially, yeah, that would solve this. How do I make this a non-blocking call to a web socket connection? You cannot share itself non-blocking, but the Go standard approach is to run it in a Go routine and communicate via a channel. This is exactly what we did in the previous. Makes so much sense. Okay, shared, yes, makes sense. We can run this read message function on a separate Go routine, and if there is a message, we can use a channel to get that message from that separate Go routine. And from the perspective of the handler function, okay, there is going to be this main function f c. This is like a creator function. This creates the socket. So now we have a socket, and then after creating a socket we can define some things which should happen when the socket opens. Then we need a for loop which keeps on running, and this checks for two things. This will have internally a switch statement, not a switch but select statement. This select statement will be using two channels. One channel, yes, this will be using two channels internally. One channel would tell us whether do we have to close the socket. CLS means close, and other would be message, whether there is a message from the backend, from the like, yeah, is there a message on the socket. And this whole select thing is happening inside a for loop. So this for loop will keep on running infinitely and check, do we want to close the socket or is there a message. If we want to close the socket, then we will just close the socket, go out of this for loop and end. But if there is a message, the message will be processed. It is very smart shit. Grok, AI is smart. Why see it so hard? Yes, like everything else, it is legit harder than getting a date. Okay, maybe granted. I'm bad at both. Shit. Mm, Worst of the both worlds. I just don't think I can progress until I am doing like 7 problems a day. It is not so much as the number of problems, but how much you are getting from those problems. Yeah, how much you are getting from those, from a single problem. And since I want to increase my own CP rating now, because there is competition. Let me show you. You do know Kakashi Bhai? You don't know Kakashi Bhai, and you don't seem to understand. Shit. You do know Kakashi. Profile undefined void. This is his profile, and look at his rating. Bro is legit working hard. Unlike Code Forces, which cannot afford to run a server. Look at his shit. 17, 15, 27. Like, bro is actually cooking 15, 27. Do you know about Operation Paperclip? Wait, okay. Operation Paperclip was shit, shit. I forgot. No, I forgot. Operation Paperclip. Shit, I cannot remember. But I did heard of this. Operation Paperclip was a secret United States intelligence program in which more than 1,600 German scientists and yes were taken from Nazi Germany to US. Yep. Because they were good to get their skills and they were not given any punishment or anything for being in the Nazi regime. And yep, shit. This is very motivating. I want to increase my rating also. Bro is at it. So yep, I will be doing 2 streams every day from today. I woke up late, I messed up, but yep, that would be the plan. Operation Paperclip was crazy. I solved most problems myself with very little help, so I don't think I'm not getting enough. So that is cool. If you think you are not getting enough, if you don't think you are not getting enough, or if you think that you are not getting not enough, yes, he is a legit genius. He is a legit genius. He's a genius. 1527. The throne is heavy. So I could just spend more time. I mean, you are really good at chess. So you do know how to analyze stuff. That is not the problem for you. So I don't know. I guess just spending more time is cool. Mm, Connection. Yes. Make a separate channel for this and run a go routine. We can make the channel here. How do we make a channel? Var message channel equals make channel. I think make chan CHAN. And here there is no default, but message channel. Select case must be send or receive. Okay, yes, get stuff from this channel. Cannot use value of type this as a message. Okay. Go a function call in place and this error connection dot read, right? And if error is not equal to nil, then cancel. which channel takes in the message. Or a string of byte, and we don't have to convert this. Cool. Cool. Run back. Yeah, these English sentences are confusing. Not getting, not enough. Yeah, yes, something like this. Go run this. Okay. The problem was right now when I press enter, a socket is created between this TUI and the backend. And if I press exit and start a socket again by pressing enter, then the previous socket is still active, was active when there was error. I do not think it is active now. But if I now press enter and if I do not go to the loading screen but to the actual gameplay screen, then the error is still here. But if we go to the loading screen, then we have fixed the error. If we do not go to the loading screen, the error is still there. We are able to play a game with ourselves, which is a bit messed up. This is messed up, yes. For select this. Okay, does the select, I have two channels in my select statement which is inside a for state, and if none of the channels have data, then if none of the channels have data, then does it mean, then does the select run again? Does it run again? I don't know. Oh, select block blocks until at least one of the channel has data. It does not busy loop or spin, so the execution looks like this. Blocks here, error channel, message channel. Only reaches here after a case was handled. Okay, so if I were to add a default, I guess that would fix this. Select waits, sleeps, it handles that case. But we are calling cancel here. I took an online IQ test. Okay, shit, crazy. I got around 110 with the standard deviation of 5. So under best condition, I would get 115. Reddit said it is okay. Shit, that is cool. Top 20, 30%. Okay, you are genius. Then I think you can download Cloud Code offline. Like, yes, I can do that. I do have that song, and you don't seem to. And yes, that is an anime song. Shit, crazy. And you are a genius. It's like a side note. Select is blocking. Select is blocking. Select is okay. We will have our own channels dot go. We need two channels. We need two channels. Yes, message channel. Yeah, a list of bytes and close socket channel equals make channel on just boolean input. Close socket function. This function this takes in a socket of type WebSocket dot connection, otherwise send the message. Okay, message channel, message channel. Get message with connection. Okay, the phone is not charging. Pretty cool, pretty cool. I'm pretty sure I'm stupid. Okay, that is a very humble thing to say. I remember my classmates calling me intelligent, and the only thing I was thinking is that they would soon find out I'm stupid. Shit, is considered high average. Bright genius is like 140 plus. Shit, mine is like a room temperature IQ probably. Mm, this is good. We have to change all of the cancel calls with close socket. Close socket calls, which we can do like this. In the whole file, this percentage means file substitute cancel. Shit, there was just one place where we were calling cancel. Crazy. Don't do this. Cool. Don't give any context. We don't need no context. Right. Error. Yep. Don't need no context. Close socket. Differ. What if a user presses Control C? We can listen for it. Shit. Enter, enter. Okay, why did the game not end here? Easy stuff. Go run this. Loading a game. Quit. Go run this. And if we do not see the loading screen, which we do not, then the error still persists. If there is shit, close socket channel has something, then end. Otherwise, if there is a message, then run the message. Whichever channel gets filled, do that thing. So when we press Q, no matter where we are, here when we press Q, run this close socket. Which fills up the channel with proof. Command, okay. Go run this. Enter, exit. Go run this. Why do we see this? Oh, shit. Okay, cool. Let's go. Wait, you don't actually trust IQ tests. That is cool. Totally up to you. Playing with anonymous. I guess we can remove that line, playing with anonymous, because like, why do you want to? You are always playing with anonymous. This thing we can remove. Color. Let when we press Q, do not return this. But instead, console.log. There is no console.log. Print closing. We did see some text. Shit. Also, do not clear the screen. Yep. Keep the screen as it is. Dot. Shit. There is no way to close this UI now. Okay, and a new window. Yep, 22 into 56 would be 112 into 11, which would be 112, which is 112, 1, 2, 3, 2, I guess. Okay, cool. Source UI, go run the TUI. Quit. Enter. Why do we see closing socket now? Okay. Or there might also be a problem with the back end. Probably, maybe. APIs in case of anonymous user. We are anonymous player coming. We're getting a very big string as the user ID. Yes. And then when we close the socket, we print operand's ID, which we get here. Get user operand, which returns the operand ID. Which returns a string. This user this returns a big int, which you convert into a string in JavaScript. Convert a big integer to a string. In JavaScript, how to do that? Just dot to string. That might be, I don't know it. At least we won't be seeing like negative numbers here. Is better. What is 92 into this? That would be 3,800. 3,800 minus 38 into 8. 38 into 8, 4 into 8, 320. 320 minus 16, 304. 304 is that from 3,800. 3,500 minus 4, 3,496. I don't know, maybe. Okay, crazy. Cannot find main module because yes, we are not in the right place. Cool. 2 hours 36 minutes. Okay. The problem that we are trying to solve here is that when the main function exits, we are not able to close the connection. Why is that? In the model with t dot quit, go this. You are able to play a game with yourself. Mm. Mm. Close socket fmt print. Why is this getting stuck? Difficult. 110 into 17,770. Go run this. Close TUI, close, go run. Okay, why did this thing not close? No tags found. Close socket. Close socket. Prints. Closing socket. This was the thing, and same channel is used. Okay, I don't like this. We'll need to use Lord here. I have a switch statement in my handler function inside a for loop, which not a switch statement but a select statement inside my handler, which is inside a for loop, which is listening on these two channels. But I don't see anything when close socket function fills the close socket close socket function fills the close socket channel. The issue is that get message is not being called in a loop or go routine. It reads one message and exits. But the deeper bug is that when a read message errors, you call close socket which sends to close, but then you also try to send message. Okay, so I should return here. Okay, that was one thing. Yes, cool, makes sense. Reloop, defer, close. Or loop runs. After this, the for loop runs. After this, the for loop runs. Yep, the for loop does run after this. For ended. Do we see this go over? Yes, for don't see for ended, but we see ended. ended. What is the backend close the connection? Yes. How to check? Wait, if the backend closes the connection, we would get error on this statement. One, okay, shit. And okay, the problem is at the backend. Anonymous user has closed its connection from the queue. And then anonymous user wanted. Okay, the problem is at the backend. Shit. Okay, so the problem was not in the front, in the go. The problem was in the backend. Problem is in the back end and here on close is user waiting. Game dot remove waiting object takes in user ID and everything. Get time key and delete. Removing game or removing user. Closed its connection from queue, which we call after this. Okay. Run back, run the backend. Go run, enter, quit. Adding user to the queue. Anonymous has closed its connection from the queue. So we do see this, but we don't see this because we is game user ratings dot delete user ID. A set of strings here and this in game waiting objects. Console.log this dot game waiting object. with a given color. Empty. But you do not get to this line. Remove anonymous game waiting object is the thing that we have to call. We are calling the wrong thing. Anonymous. Yep. Okay. Only the waiting list. Only the waiting list. Only the waiting list. Okay. Shit. Okay. Shit. Okay. It is fixed. It is fixed. Fixed. Oh. Okay. Cool. 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 This is fixed. Hello, Thorfinn. Let me show you something, Thorfinn. Mm, uh, Shit. This is not working. Okay, okay. Let me show you something from the start. First of all, you have to answer what is 78 into 34. Only then can we proceed. Shit. What is 78 into 34? 80 into 34, 2400. Plus 320, 2720. 70, 2720. 720. 720 minus 68. Shit. 2720 minus 68. 2700 minus 48. 2700. 2652. Okay, cool. TUI and wait. Okay. Shit. Again. 250, 70. 420. 320. Yes, 325. My bad. CD source and TUI go run this. Right. go run this. Enter. Because the backend is not running right now. Yeah, very cool. One run back. Start a rapid game. Start a rapid game. Look at this. This is playing as white. We see ended here. Shit, which we should not see, but ignore this ended part here. Everything else apart from that is very cool. E2 to E4. Let's. Okay, something broke. Something broke. Something broke. I'm not lying. This was working earlier. Trust me. Shit. Kill this panel. Kill this panel. Something broke. Shit. Wait, I think this thing should be in a for loop. Shit, makes sense. Yep, this thing should be in a for loop. That makes so much sense. That legit makes so much sense. One run back. What is 74 into 88 and 90? 6,300, 6,300, 360, 6,660 minus 140, 6,660, 6,600, shit, 666, 6,660 minus 144, 148, 6,720 minus 8,712, maybe 512. My bad. Okay. And the backend is running. Backend is running. cd source UI, and Thorfinn, if you are like still here, this is going to work this time. Trust me. Or maybe not. Shit. Nope, this is not working. E3696 source UI go run. Okay, okay, okay. E2 to F2 to F3. Okay, we do see the move on the other side. And here play E7 to E5. Here E no G2 to G4, and Game over. We do not see the game over screen though. Cool. We can play a blitz game. Okay, this does not work. The blitz button does not work. Why is the connection getting closed? Okay, we are not able to play our second game. Oh, yeah, more bugs, more bugs. Already at the 3 hour mark. Git status, what are the things that you have changed? Git add current file, git status, backend changes are also there. Fix web sockets leaking out of TUI. Shit. Okay, and that would be it for today. Yep, that would be it for today's stream. We do have a board, and probably we will finish this tomorrow. Yep, and even deploy this so anyone can play, for which we also have to deploy the backend. Yeah, we will see how to do that. And that would be it for today. Thank you for being here. Bye.